talk anything and everything we want. In this world of imagination, we are joined today by the mystical DreadPirate.
What up, guys?
The winner of the Wonka tour, Kain.
Hola.
And the friendly neighborhood helper bot, BiPoe. That's me! What is that in the distance? A bird? A plane? No, it's something rising from the fire. It's our good buddy Scorch. Welcome!
Greetings.
How are we doing today, boys?
Tired.
Heckin' fantastic.
Oh, that's nice.
All the tired from the burn has hit me.
Just now?
Between that and, having a real job.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, the back to work grind coming back from the burn has just been fucking awful.
Yeah, it makes me miss, melting in the heat midday.
Dude, I miss just that. I know we didn't sleep much, right? But I kind of miss not sleeping that much and also having, nothing to do with whatever the hell we wanted the next day.
Yeah. We just need to become independently wealthy.
Yeah,
Scorch,
right. That's so easy.
Did you go to this burn?
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh shit, I didn't know.
Well, I was hoping you were gonna make it, but I guess you had other things going on, so I get it.
I mean, I just bought the new car. I can't be doing. I'm kind of taking a break from festivals this year because they get expensive.
Yeah, that's true.
Even the Halloween lineup just dropped, and it's actually really fucking good. And I'm still probably not going to go.
I was looking at it too. I was like, fuck. I might want to go to this.
It is what last year should have been. But in fairness, I did more of the partying with the people than I did actually going to a lot of the shows last year. So for me, for the first time, the people made it 10 times more than the music did.
That's why I like the
felt
burns.
more like a burn. It's felt more like a burn than a music festival this past year for me at least.
Nice. Well, I gotta tell you, you missed out on a lot of fun shit. You probably literally could have just gotten a plane ticket and showed up, because Corey had a spare ticket. Because literally none of us ran out of food. In fact, Candace and I had too much. There was a spare tent or two, and I know how you are. You probably would have ended up in somebody else's tent just hanging out with them anyway for a whole night. So, yeah, I mean,
that's a good point.
Yeah, and plenty of water and everything to go around. So, literally, you could have just hopped a plane ride, caught a ride with one of us, and not had to bring anything with you. And would have had a great time.
That was the deal. That was the deal I gave him. I was like, just show the fuck up. We'll fix everything else.
Nice.
No, the problem is I'm already doing a lot of trips this year between going up to Virginia, or not necessarily out of trips, but taking a lot of time off already this year. To my own kid coming to visit, and I'll be taking 5 days off for that. So, try to keep it once in a while that I take time off, a week off.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
I will be in Florida in December, by the way. So be prepared.
What time in December?
The holidays.
Oh, sweet. So will my kid.
Yeah, will you be in Florida or will you be up in Virginia?
Nope, they're coming down here for Christmas. I kind of convinced her to bring her down here so she can meet my dad's side of the family and all that, the people here.
Nice.
So it just kind of works out that she'll be here too.
Sweet, I'll get to shake your baby.
Yeah, not as much of a baby anymore. I mean, she's still fucking tiny.
Well, she's what? Up to your waist? Top of her head? Maybe?
Give or take.
Up to his waist is still shorter than most.
This is true.
That's fair.
I'll be right back.
No. All right. Let's break into our first one. I think Scorch will enjoy this a little bit more. Black Myth. Have you looked into this game at all?
Black
Myth.
No.
What is this? Are we running a trailer?
So this is we don't want to get demonetized, so I'm not going to throw the trailer up, which is stupid because the few people that listen to this or watch this would be open to the game a little bit more. But so the what's the the god that Goku's based after, right?
Son Goku, yeah.
Sun Wukong. Just
The Monkey King, Sun Wukong.
Yeah, Wukong. They're making a Wukong game. It's RPG. Should be in the style of God of War. It looks fucking dope.
I think I've actually did see something about this, like on one of my Google feeds, and was just kind of like, yeah, that'll be cool. But dude, early access games, I'm holding off on like anything related to them until they come out.
Oh yeah, I'm not touching this until it comes out. But hopefully,
Is it going to be like God of War, or is it going to be more like what do you call them? The like the Souls games? Because I know a bunch of random new games that are based on mythology for Asian countries or made up mythology seem like they were going to come out in the God of War style, but in turn end up coming out more like a Souls game where you get all the story, but every fight's super fucking difficult.
so
Well, I mean, you
the
gotta remember. Good.
the comment from the developers is this is not built for the Souls life. This is going to be a much less Elden Ring like game. It should be more like random action buttons, just doing cool stuff, going through the story. It should still be hard, but it's not going to be like the grind that Souls is.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll play it then, because still can't get into the Souls. It's just too much. I like difficulty. I don't like the easy difficulty being hard.
It took me a week to get through the training boss in Sekiro.
I tried to play Sekiro, but it failed horribly for me. Like, controller support wasn't working. The game would crash after like 2 seconds. This was the PC port, of course, right?
Yeah.
Didn't buy this on console. And I was just like, okay, I'll try you again in a couple months. Haven't gotten back to it. But you got to remember, I was going to say, God of War specifically was the type of game where it's sort of not. I don't want to say Souls-esque, right? Because you definitely have a lot more leeway with damage and getting through fights. But it definitely is that kind of feel where you're adventuring, you're doing stuff, and then you encounter a boss in their zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Souls games are kind of like that, right? Just more hardcore,
Yeah, just
for lack of a better term.
Your normal on any Souls game is like going to the extreme difficulty on any God of War game.
yeah. Even if you get a like action slider or difficulty slider, there's very little that slider does.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Because I guess the only boss I couldn't beat in the original God of War, because Ragnarok's coming out soon for PC, and I'm excited about that. But the only boss I couldn't beat on the original God of War was the last Valkyrie, like the Valkyrie Queen or whoever she was. Man, that was the hardest fight for me. And I was playing on give me a challenge and a story. So like, I guess hard difficulty in that version of God of War.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I never went back and fought the fucking Valkyries. I tried a few times, and I was pretty good at God of War. I was never that good. I got my ass handed to me by the first one like 20 times. Like, you know what? I don't need to fucking beat these things to feel complete with this game. I've already won.
So this was definitely back at the time when I was trying to do like challenge modes, right? Like get all the trophies on PlayStation. Because I did play God of War on PlayStation. I only recently got it for PC, but haven't played it yet. But yeah, I was trying to do like challenge modes, like, you know, play the game through, get all the trophies unlocked, all that fun stuff. That last fucking Valkyrie, man, could not do it.
All the Valkyries were fucking hard. I can't imagine how much the last one was. I was playing a normal difficulty and I couldn't win.
Dude, nuzlocking Pokemon is about the hardest I want to go. I am done with super hard games at this point in my life.
Well, I mean, to that point, the Shadow of the Erdtree comes out soon, the 21st, I think. So, yeah, I know a lot of people that I know are very excited about that, and I probably won't talk to them for like a solid week till they come back. Specifically, like Durrell and, you know, a few of that crew.
Oh yeah, you know Darkness is going to disappear for a week.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Stick to my Forbidden West right now.
How's it been going, by the way? I haven't really like touched into that game whatsoever.
Did you play the first one?
Maybe like half.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the point where I had it on console and I was kind of like getting away from playing on console again. So I really haven't gone back to it.
It's like an expansion of the first one. It just not necessarily an expansion. It plays on like the Mass Effect games did, where the second one, while the games like the decisions don't have a huge effect on everything because it's a linear storyline. The second one picks up immediately where the first one left off. Similar playstyle, a lot more weapons, a lot more kinds of monsters, a lot more different varieties of, robotic fucking dinosaurs. I loved the first one, and I love that style of like open world gameplay where they give you a lot of stuff to explore, but not too much.
We're talking about Horizon Zero or Horizon, the new one, right?
Forbidden
West.
West.
Yeah.
Because while I love the Legends of Zelda games like Breath of the Wild, I ended up beating Tears of the Kingdom. Great game. Way too fucking long and big.
I'm still gonna hold true that the best way to play it is on Steam Deck. It's fuck Nintendo. Come at me, bro.
And this was the last running of Tales of Jigoku. Just kidding.
We were immediately sued into oblivion. Talking about sequels, did you guys see Sony's PlayStation bullshit that they're doing with PC ports?
Yeah, you're talking about the you have to have a PlayStation account.
Yeah, so they're going to put out the first iteration of the game. That's part of it. But they're going to put out the first iteration of the game, and they're going to put out a PC port. And then if there's enough hype, they're going to restrict the second edition of the game to PlayStation only, so that their hope is people will go out and buy PS5s. And I don't think they understand that PC gamers have long, long lines of patience.
Yeah, so okay, let me throw this out real quick. I ended up with a PS4 because Borderlands 3 was coming out and it was exclusive for it, right? And at the time, Spaz and Darkness both wanted to jump on and play that with me, and I was like, all right, whatever. So like, I didn't buy the PS4; they bought it for me.
Nice.
So I still have the PS4, and I occasionally enjoy playing on it. But here's the deal: the next generation game is going to be on the next generation console, right? I was excited about Final Fantasy Remake. The first Final Fantasy Remake came out on PS4. It was awesome. The next one, like Rebirth, it's on PS5 only. They didn't even make it for PS4 to keep players interested in going. They want us to buy those fucking consoles. It's not happening.
And I think Rebirth specifically is coming out on PC.
Yeah, because the console sales were so bad. Like they did not get as much out of as they wanted out of the console sales. So now they're like, okay, we're gonna port to PC. And Remake took 2.5 years, something like that. Rebirth, I expect to see in the next 6 months.
Yeah, and also there's a 3-year gap between the games, 4-year gap between the games, and it's a remake. So you're not even like you're getting disc 2. That's all you're getting.
yeah, but so it is a completely different story though, right? Like it's completely different than the original game. They added a lot more stuff. There's a lot more going on, like different side quests and things are happening, and like a lot of other cool stuff that they added. Like they hodgepodged a lot of like really neat stuff into the game to make it different, and then change the story a little bit. So like the end of Remake is completely different than switching to disc 2 from the original Final Fantasy VII, right? So Rebirth is following along that same line, but the problem is that there's just not enough console players out there for Sony to keep making the money that they want to stay exclusive. And now they have the competition with Xbox, right? So Xbox is like, screw it, we're not staying exclusive. We're going to multi-platform because that is the future of fucking sales and gaming. Like, and that's the right track in my mind.
And Sony shot themselves in the foot by suing the fuck out of Microsoft during the Activision Blizzard acquisition, because they were like, okay, Microsoft, you can't restrict all these games that are historically on our console. So Microsoft responded with, okay, then you can't have Sony exclusives. And that's how the court case went down. So now Sony has to start pumping out PC ports so that they can meet the requirements of a lawsuit they started.
I got to be real with you guys. I think the last PlayStation I've personally owned was a 2.
Dude,
And that is one of the best PlayStations to have owned, honestly.
I think every other time I've had one in the home I'm living in, it was always somebody else's, like 3 or 4.
I've only ever owned the first one. every other one, every other version of PlayStation, if I've played it, it was at either your house or another friend of ours house.
And even then, it wasn't even his.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't like PlayStation. I don't like giving them money for things. I'm just I'd rather give Microsoft money.
All in all, I don't mind Sony.
I don't either. I have nothing against their consoles. I just don't. I've never really bought them.
I haven't had a reason to. Every game I've ever wanted to purchase that was a PlayStation exclusive, I've either emulated and for legal reasons purchased and kept a copy on my shelf, or gone over to a friend's house and played. I've never had an issue with, because they're not like DMR restricting you to your account and stuff. I have a Sony account. I just only use it for PC.
Yep.
Agreed.
Although you remember when Xbox almost tried to do that DMR shit.
Dude, Xbox does not fucking play with their DMR.
Well, so I don't know if you remember a while back. I think it was like when the generation after the 360 started coming out. And Xbox was like, okay, you're going to have an account and you're going to purchase this CD of your game. But when you plug it into your machine, that license is now tied to your account and then you can't share the game.
Yeah.
They got so much backlash for that.
Now,
shit.
So much.
Now they just switched to discless consoles, which, in my opinion, it gets rid of the whole purpose of having a console. Again,
a bit, yeah.
Fuck you, Nintendo. For those that don't know, most of your Switch games are just CD keys for downloadable games. It's literally just a path of code that takes you to the download.
That's actually like way more recent, isn't it? Like, I have a couple of like Switch games where it's like I've got the freaking chip or whatever it is. I don't know what you call them, and they're the actual game.
Still a cartridge.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cartridge, but there are newer Nintendo Switch games where you get the cartridge, you plug the cartridge in, and it immediately starts a download for the actual game.
Yeah,
like
that's how all the new ones are.
No. Like update's one thing, right? Like plugging the chip in and being able to immediately start to play a game is apparently becoming a thing of the past. Now you get the cartridge, you plug it in, and you have to have internet connection to actually get the game.
Yeah.
Like to download the actual game files.
It's the future.
So you buy a cartridge, plug it into your Switch, and it only has enough content to tell the Switch where to go to get the rest of the game content. It's a client. They're selling you game clients on cartridge form instead of the actual game.
They're selling you an illusion, is what they're selling you, and
the cartridges aren't even recyclable. Like they're just fucking the turtles. That's all they're doing.
Yep. Have you ever licked one, by the way? The turtles don't even want that shit.
I've never licked one, but I kind of want to go walk over to the other side of this room and lick one to try it.
Please grab it, bring it back, and try it on camera.
Be right back.
Do you know about this?
No, what?
They intentionally made Nintendo Switch cartridges taste awful.
Yeah, it's like
so
the
that
whole
kids,
not eating thing. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, so kids won't try to eat them.
Yeah. They do it with batteries, but the batteries actually don't taste as bad. Not because I tried them before, but because I've definitely had friends that tried it before and told me.
I gotta be real with you. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure Tide Pods also taste disgusting.
No, they taste pretty good. You got to get the rainbow colored ones. So it tastes like a.
Oh, it's got like bitters impregnated into it. That's fucking terrible.
Yeah, don't be a 3-year-old and eat like tiny little
He's-
SD cards.
Tastes like coolant.
Also, sad that you got sword and not shield.
Hold up.
I
Old
have
coolant
both.
or
That
new-
was just the first one I grabbed.
Old coolant or new coolant?
I'm pretty sure we're
New
talking
coolant.
like lead based
Oh.
new old coolant mixed with new coolant.
And there's somehow a little oil and antifreeze in it. It's really weird.
It's to lube your water pump. Oh, the energy drink doesn't even get rid of it. It was a
No.
terrible idea.
No, it's just what you do to get rid of it is kind of like with like spiciness. You don't drink water or anything. You like put a piece of bread on your tongue and it'll soak it up. Or else you're just gonna spread it around.
I'm gonna get the spawn
just
to
drink
lick
his-
this
or
and
just
see what
drink milk
what he
like a
does.
normal person.
Oh, don't do that to him.
Yeah,
Well,
fucking,
actually,
he's
no,
on
do-
summer vacation. He's got time to burn.
Actually, don't do it to him unless you're recording it and then send us the video.
Will do.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Nice.
vape gets rid of it a little bit.
There you go. Different kind of oil. You
That was
toxic
terrible.
oil. Well, I'm glad I could teach you something new, old.
Yeah,
You have a kid. How did you not know about this?
my kid's
Well, I guess
smart
your kid
enough
is-
not to lick random shit.
I was gonna say, I guess your kid's smart enough not to eat random shit. Like batteries. Man, I remember as a kid, I was dumb enough to lick a 9-volt.
Dude,
I did offer Nicholas a Tide Pod when he was like 8 years old. He just looked at me and was like, "No, that's not for eating." I was like, "Smart kid."
I assume at 8 he was already smart enough to know better.
You never know.
That kid is going to be an engineer when he gets older, man, and there's just things that he just has and he knows already.
yeah,
Far beyond what I knew as a freaking 11-year-old.
I'm not excited for that college bill.
Bet not.
Well, actually, you should be. Dude's smart enough that you might get a full ride somewhere. So all you're doing is paying for like a car or gas.
See, he's smart. He's not motivated. That's the issue. Getting him to write a proposal for a grant is going to be such a pain in the ass.
Well, no, he just applies for scholarships. Do like a 500-word essay.
That's the
Ain't that
problem.
bad. Ain't that bad. As a lazy person,
That's exactly-
500 words ain't that bad.
Now, hell with that. Just let him turn in one of his Kerbal Space programs, right?
Right?
Just have him turn that in as his application.
As somebody who hates writing, 500 words is a lot.
Fair.
I'd explain
I
to
really
him
hate
about
writing.
space trash the other day because he had so many space stations up doing things, one hit the other, and it created a dome around his Kerbal planet of
Let's
just
go.
trash. He couldn't get anything out of the atmosphere. I
Oh,
was like,
man,
that's a real problem, dude.
Yeah, he's literally in like the next like I was watching and reading something. I think it's like that if we keep at the rate we're going with like the private company setting up satellites, government setting up satellites, it's like another like 50 odd years or something like that until like it starts to get real sketchy. And then like in 100 years if we keep up our rate, it might be very hard to actually escape Earth and go
Called-
like deep space.
Yeah, it's called the Kessler syndrome. It's where
Mhm.
instead of having control over all of our space debris, it starts hitting each other and it creates a dome of impenetrable bullshit that we can't get past without, murdering half of our astronauts.
Sorry, all I can think about is Wall-E. Like
That too.
the Earth
Yeah.
being literally surrounded in enough space debris that it was like brown rust around the planet.
Yeah.
That,
But,
that's what it's gonna look like.
It's-
I think
Pixar knew.
I think
They
it was Japan that tried to come up with a solution. And like I applaud them for trying to come up with a solution, but their solution was let's get a net and like butterfly catcher it.
I mean, if
I
it works, it
respect
works.
I mean, do you get?
I mean,
you got,
do you
got any
understand
other
how
ideas?
fast do you understand how fast these things are going around?
Yeah, you
I mean,
just make the
Tina, I
net go
get
that fast.
1,000 miles.
Yeah, you make the net go that fast. It's literally the same idea as like putting
It's
holes
not
in a
about the
solar sail,
Yeah, but
right?
it's,
Like,
like I don't what. I'm trying to think because the net fails. I'm like, what did they build it out of? Like, I'm trying to think of what can. I think it's like things are traveling like 18,000 miles an hour or like a minute something. It's like hella fast.
well, the nice idea is that you don't have any, friction in space, right? So like, you deploy the net, you get it up to speed. What? I mean, like,
There's friction.
like,
there's no air
I mean,
resistance.
that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like, there's no friction from air, so like you can build a net out of like carbon fiber straps or polymer straps, right?
Mhm.
And then get it up to speed with all the satellite debris going around space, and then just let
And
it
then when the tension
cycle
comes to,
slightly faster in
it
orbit.
rips.
Well, yeah, but it'll all rip together. That's the nice part. Like after
And
it
then
catches everything it
shoot
catches.
out.
Yeah,
and
you
either
you only need it to
become
go
like
through
a
the
ma-
atmosphere.
Well,
Then
the
it-
small things will burn up. Yeah.
Then it
It
solves.
really-
No,
it-
let the big things go through, man. Hey, let's raining steel
Oh.
bits, whatever.
Yeah. What if
They'll
a
burn
satellite
up
just
in ammo.
crashes into a city? What's the worst that happens?
Listen,
There's-
traffic
there's a
during
lot.
COVID was glorious,
Hey,
and I miss
this-
it.
And also this planet is mostly water. I'm sure they could figure out where not to put it on the city, my dude.
Yeah,
Well,
there's like a
you
40%
never-
chance we'll hit somebody.
No.
You're
You
expecting
never
that they
know.
have control
Yeah.
when it falls. If they had control, it wouldn't fall.
Mhm.
So, segueing on the suing thing, do we want to get into Ticketmaster or Adobe?
We get into both. Also, if this is the episode where we get sued, man, was this like they have not watched any of our other episodes.
How would
Throwing
we
that
get
one out.
sued?
Nintendo's spiteful as fuck.
Yeah, Nintendo.
Because we
if
keep
you
quoting Nintendo.
Yeah, if you say their name enough or you say one of their games enough, it will be flagged, and Nintendo would be like, "What they doing?"
All right, Poe. So you got to put a Nintendo knockoff logo on this tab.
Oh,
This
hey,
video.
Kain, you want to put a knockoff Nintendo logo on this thing?
Yeah.
For everyone that doesn't know, I'm pretty much just like the person that sets everything up. Don't edit yet, so Kain edits. So when someone asks me to edit something, I just turn to our lovely Kain and be like, "So, what up?"
Going with video is making editing a whole lot easier because I can't
Yeah.
I can't cut without it looking weird, so we just got to deal.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, it'll look weird, but you could probably skip some segments like this particular portion where we're talking about nothing.
And we've talked about editing before.
Yeah, we have. But yeah, Adobe's being sued because their early termination fees or ETFs are hidden, along with when you do like the trial and you subscribe for like the lowest one, they automatically put you into the most lucrative one. And the ETF fee or the early termination fee is like hundreds of dollars, so you're kind of like strong armed into it. 'Cause
Well,
it's not a monthly subscription; it's a yearly subscription, and that's what they're in trouble for. Like they're not being as transparent as they have to be
yeah, and
legally.
it being lucrative, they went to a subscription service to make more money. And it's one of those weird things where I'm not hating on programs, but there's no material cost. So, barring updates and security fixes, once you have the program, you have the program. It's just going to generate money.
Fair.
So, it's fuck Adobe. They can figure their shit out. But yeah, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Them being the ones that pay you.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like the SEC. I'm trying to think of what government agency is actually like coming after them. I
So
think
it's
it's the same ones that are coming off of Ticketmaster. So.
It's the
Well,
Department of
it-
Justice at the FCC's request.
Well, there's also just a lot of cracking down going on around these big companies going into with Ticketmaster being sued by the federal government.
Good.
Which good for them. Round of applause.
Yeah, my $40 ticket shouldn't cost me $92.
And this all starting from the Taylor Swift ticket debacle for her Eras tour is when this whole Ticketmaster possibly getting sued even started.
Wasn't like a nosebleed seat like $3,000 or something?
Yeah, before
Yeah.
fees.
Mhm.
And, you know, I'll give it to Taylor Swift. She got fucked by the industry plenty. But like she's actively tried to create a new ticketing thing.
Mhm.
And it's just one of those, her production studio signed contracts with Ticketmaster, as most of them do. So she couldn't sell tickets outside of Ticketmaster or their 50 subsidiary companies, so you don't think you're buying your tickets from Ticketmaster, but you're really giving them money.
Have you all been seeing, like, kind of keeping on this? As soon as I heard about the whole Ticketmaster thing, my YouTube and all my social media, all the ads I'm getting are for SeatGeek.
Which is owned by Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that Ticketmaster owns almost every single one of those aftermarket ticketing systems now. Like, I'm pretty sure they own Vivid Seats as well. And that's what they're coming down on them on, is that they've, while not completely, close enough, have monopolized the entire ticketing industry.
You don't have to
at
own
least have a hand in most of it.
you don't have to own everything. You just have to own most of the things. Like Nvidia owning most of the things. They're getting sued for the same thing. Which I'm happy the FCC's doing things. It's nice to see that antitrust lawsuits are actually a thing now.
Yeah, but monopolies are also still a thing, right? Like Nvidia is doing a lot of stuff, and they're making a lot of money doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
AI being like probably their biggest like financial gain so far, because if you think about it, like there's a lot of work, there's a lot of setup to AI, but there's not a lot of like actual doing anything once you set it up. And they can just distribute, and then they just rake cash for half-assed products that aren't really AI. They're just algorithm learning, right? So it's just interesting to think that like Ticketmaster, of all the things, being the monopoly that they are, because they just built themselves up that way, are also getting hit with this kind of stuff. But it's good to see that they are too.
Well, Nvidia's getting hit with them lying to their shareholders because the FCC couldn't prove that they were a monopoly. So the Nvidia thing is like FCC went after him for being a monopoly. And I'm just a guy on the internet. I could be wrong. But the FCC went after them for being a monopoly. The Department of Justice said, no, we don't have enough evidence. So then the FCC was like, well, what about them lying about Bitcoin miners? And then they just went full tilt. So they're getting sued for lying to their shareholders for being like, no, we're not selling Bitcoin miners. We're not selling mining rigs, when 5 years ago everyone had every extra graphics card they can get their grubby little hands on mining Bitcoin or Dogecoin. Although I think Dogecoin's processor based, but same shit.
I mean, everybody knew they were doing it.
Yeah. Try buying a fucking 20 series graphics card. They're good now, but they're dusty and overheated, and they need new thermal paste.
Look, I still have my original 2080 Ti. It's chilling in my other computer on the projector. It's doing good. But
you were one of the lucky ones.
Holy shit! I had to fight to get that sucker. Now, never mind that though. But like when the 30 series came out, holy shit, forget it. Right?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Newegg did their Lotto?
30 series was also there was an issue with fab yields. So 30 series from an engineering standpoint was crazy because they were getting like half the yields they were getting with the 20 series. Which is an architect issue. Like, fucking design your shit better. Like, if you don't design it to be manufactured, why even design it?
Right.
But yeah. So let's get off the bad news. Unless I want to. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I still have to think that the 20 series was probably the last real card that was well engineered.
You're not wrong.
Now the 30 to 40s were like going bigger, right? Like this is like cell phones of the past, right? Like the original cell phone was like monstrous, right? We're trending up again to big size, and then I hope we trend back down because this is getting nuts.
Yeah, like okay, so PC I'm streaming on and recording on 4070 Ti, and when I built it, I had to legitimately measure cases out in Micro Center to make sure that fucker would fit. Yeah. It's not even a 4080 or a 4090. This should be the medium sized graphics card, and it's bigger than my fucking head. I got a big dome.
Not as much as the 5 head I got here, but you know.
Hey man. Right there with you. It's all bald up here. There's a little tuft.
I cannot relate to either of those.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
you were born
We
with
know.
great genetics.
We know.
Okay, so I want to do Forever Winter last because I'm super fucking excited about that game. Let's get into our Helldivers update.
A couple weeks since we've done one of those.
We talked about Adobe and Ticketmaster both, like what they were
Yeah,
simultaneously doing.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Fuck both those companies. I
Pretty
say
much the consensus we got going on.
I say as I use DaVinci Resolve to edit this podcast. But yeah, fucking Helldivers, man. What's been going on? Who's got the deets? I haven't played in a month. So I've been busy with touching grass and trying not to die at work.
So admittedly, I have also not played in like a month, but there is a new Warbond that's out, which apparently provides us with a throwing weapon, a knife, which is interesting. I haven't really looked fully into the Warbond. I haven't been on it a bit, but my cousins and a few other friends are, on playing pretty constantly, so I get the updates. The latest patch actually did a lot of weapon balancing. So finally they realized that, okay, you guys aren't having fun because it's more challenging than it should be because of the amount of bugs and the lack of firepower we're giving you. So think of like Starship Troopers original, where the end of the movie hits and they're like suddenly, okay, you guys need better weapons. Yeah, no shit. So so the latest patch also did like include a lot of like balance fixes, more damage for things, a lot of additional like just quality of life upgrades that make it a lot better, a lot more fun. Now, also with that though, Arrowhead doing what they do best, not telling us everything in the patch notes, they also up the spawn rates for bugs. So while you can kill them more easily now, you are now also inundated with a lot more of the spawns than you had before. So game's still being enjoyable, from my understanding. Just the challenge is now in the quantity over the lack of quality of disruption you are doing to the bugs and the bots.
I feel like that's much better balanced.
I feel like that's fair.
I feel like that's that was the original purpose, like style of the game was to like. I remember like dropping into my first easy one, and maybe it was just me, but it was immediate. I was immediately overrun the very first time I dropped into anything, and I already felt like it was a lot. And then things kept changing, and then they got less and less. And I feel like going back to having more, but balancing the firepower out to actually make it doable. Is a great balance.
Yeah,
Target-rich environment.
Target-rich environment, weapons that can actually handle the flow. I mean, it makes sense, right? And for the kind of game it is, it seems like realistically the way they want you to play. So I'm glad they're going back to it. Like right. I'm happy they're looking at weapons. I mean, like these should be able to do damage, and not, hey, I have to unload a clip to kill, like the regular critter spawns, right? Like, forget it if a Bile Titan shows up, let alone like 5 of them when you're on a Helldive mission, right?
Did they bring the Illuminate out though? That's my question. I want to fight Protoss.
As far as I know,
I haven't seen anything about it yet. Am I right to understand from seeing posts and Reddits that they finally got rid of the infinite grenade glitch?
I don't know because I'm still seeing posts and Reddits based on that. So
okay.
I feel like the infinite grenade glitch is still there.
I'm about it. Bonus grenades, man.
Yeah, right? 4 million?
Yeah.
You can run it with impact grenades and you're just basically just throwing slaughter everywhere. I love it.
I mean, I used to...
You essentially become a tiny mortar system.
At my old job, I used to keep one in my pocket just in case things got pear-shaped.
But as far as the Illuminate are concerned, so apparently one of the things that did happen in the last month is that we killed a planet.
I saw that. The black hole's cool.
Yep. So there was a new mission. It was called like dark matter or something like that, where you basically were injecting dark matter into the bug nest in the planet. And so much of that happened that apparently all the dark matter eventually reached the center of the planet and then created a black hole. I'm speaking like out of like what I've seen online with this. I haven't actually like done the missions in a while, but it created a black hole, and then apparently people have had sightings of seeing Illuminate, like, refugee ships kind of appearing and disappearing out of that black hole. So they're thinking it's coming back. They're thinking that something's going to happen with this, and I'm pretty sure that it's the Illuminate.
Dude, when they drop the Illuminate, I'm gonna be sick from work for like 3 days. I'll be like, oh no, it's COVID. Darn.
Guys, I got a cold. I think it's COVID.
Yeah.
I don't want to infect anybody. I'll see you in, 3 or 4 major orders. I mean, days.
Exactly.
Just find like an old positive COVID test picture from when you were actually had it. Be like, oh, can you send proof? I'm like, sure. Say
Dude.
from like 2019. I'm like, I don't know, man.
My work, anybody that even mentions COVID, they get 2 days off. They're just like, nope, you have the flu. It might be COVID. Go away. Call us when you're better.
And you know what? In-person work like that, totally get it. For me, for my job remote, probably not.
Isn't there a lot of like in-person office work where you work?
Kind of. There was on my last project. This project, I have an actual trailer. So it's just me, a superintendent, and whoever decides to visit us. I had somebody I've never met before deliver bomb-ass donuts. Shout out to Amy's Donuts in Colorado Springs. Just delivered a dozen donuts to 2 people. Left a card and was like, please hire us if you need help.
Nice.
It's all about the perks, man.
And having a business big enough that they give you perks.
I think it's a general contractor thing. Basically, every trade partner is bringing us snacks or notebooks or cool little widgets and shit.
That's the one thing about working remote that I kind of miss is like the in-office perks of just getting random stuff given to you by the higher ups or whatever, right? But
right?
I like the remote work life. I obviously have a dope ass office, so I'm doing pretty good over here.
For sure.
I don't know, man. I couldn't, even during COVID, I couldn't stay in the entire time. I had to go do something.
Oh, so that's why you go outside of like your office hours, right? Like,
yeah,
you work during the day, you do your shit here, you can wander around the house whenever you feel like it. Go upstairs, grab a snack, go stand out back for a minute, touch some grass, walk back inside, right? Like, do whatever you got to do, and then like at the end of the day, go for a hike, right? Like, just go out for a nice long walk somewhere around your neighborhood or do whatever. Like, I love that kind of freedom where I'm already home, ready to go do whatever the next thing is.
Fair.
Yeah. The commute is probably the best part about working remote. I don't have a commute. I walk down 2 flights of stairs. That is my commute.
I think I was on the road for like 4 hours today. I had to go up to our main office and pick up stuff. What sucks is I was on the road 4 hours getting stuff from our IT department, but my job site is 4 minutes from my house.
Damn.
But yeah.
On the Helldivers topic, I know I haven't played in a while. I'm excited to get back into it now that I've seen some of the balance changes looking up, and also it would be nice to play with you guys again because my cousin pretty much has a static that he plays with, so I only get to hop in with him every now and then.
Right.
But yeah,
if I can priority.
What?
So
I'm just messing with you.
So
You're
while
also
we're
on
on the
East Coast, man.
Helldivers topic,
I've never.
you guys need to look into Forever Winter.
Forever?
So it's Helldivers-esque. From what I gathered, you could have teams of up to 4.
Okay.
And you're a scavenger. You're not directly involved in any combat. But there's 2 or 3 warring factions having a battle around you, and you have to sneak around the battle and pick up the scraps because you're a scavenger.
I saw the preview of this. You're right. So yeah. Think of like Helldivers mixed with what the hell was that game where you're basically delivering packages across Wasteland? It was on PlayStation.
The Dead Stranding, where you're delivering babies.
Yeah, Death Stranding.
Yeah. It's kind of like that, except like there are
Is
boss
that what
fights.
Dead Stranding is?
Yeah, it's a walking simulator. I literally watched a streamer.
You deliver babies?
Technically, yeah, sometimes. But I literally, sorry to get off topic, I watched a streamer who set up a treadmill, and for 6 hours which I think that was his stream, or that's how long he lasted. He was just walking on a treadmill, playing the game, because that's all you did is walk. That's it.
Are you sure it's called Everwinter? I can't find anything on
The
it.
Forever Winter.
The
Forever
Forever Winter.
Also, make sure to put game, or else it's going to lead you to a
Taylor
music
Swift
video.
shit.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, so there's these epic battles going on in the background or around you, just happening. And a couple of videos I've seen, like, because there's these big epic battles happening and you're picking up the scraps, the AI bots will threat acquisition you, decide if you're a threat, and might not shoot at you. Like, your aggro is not, you build aggro throughout the game based on what you're doing, but if you're not a threat to a fucking tank because you're running around as a human being doing things, they won't shoot at you. They'll continue with the battle. So there's no like weird, oh, they spotted me, now everyone's turning on me. And you have guns. It's a third person shooter, so you have a way of defending yourself. You're not just fucked. Like, it looks pretty cool. And the video of the battles I've seen is sick. Like, 200-foot tall mechs crushing tanks. It looks really good. I'm really excited for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully it's like not just a single player experience. You said it's a 4-player thing, like you go out in a crew together or something like that and like scavenge.
So they haven't come out with any data on how many players you can do, but in the videos I've seen, I've not seen more than 4 players playing at a time.
Fair enough. It says online co-op
It
is
does
what
say
it is.
online co-op. It doesn't say how many though.
But I'm assuming 4 seems to be the sweet spot, because anything bigger than that, you're gonna get yourself ganked. And PUBG taught us that 4 is a pretty good amount.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, this might be my Helldivers killer when it eventually comes out.
I mean, we'll see how it goes. If it shows up in early access first, I'm not touching it. But
No.
But yeah, from what I've seen from like the previews and everything, it looks dope. Like post-apocalyptic, kind of like Rust World style thing where everything's metal and desert.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're basically doing your best to stay out of the way of the fight, which is interesting for once, right? So yeah, I saw that preview. I'm super excited. Like
it does look really cool. I'm looking at the video right now.
Yeah.
All right, that was my main topic. Let's hit Final Fantasy 14, because we have a Final Fantasy 14 player in our midst.
So I sort of got started over here. But
no.
he
That needle in.
He hasn't been on since he picked up Forbidden West, and I don't blame him, because there's a lot to Final Fantasy. So for anybody who doesn't play, you're talking probably 900 hours of story if you watch all the cinematics going from the very beginning of the game to the latest expansion. Speaking of latest expansions, it's going to be Dawn Trail that comes out end of this month for early access, and then very beginning of next month for regular like standard release. Obviously, I have early access because I've been playing this game for well over 2,000 hours. And I don't know, man. Like for the longest time, I didn't think I was going to get back into MMOs after a while. But really, this one just kind of like, it ticks the boxes, right? I don't have to be in a group to do anything particularly important. You can go run around. There's no multiple character creations for each kind of like job you want to do, right? You are one character.
I do like that aspect about it.
Right. Like, that's so nice. So yeah, it's one character. You switch jobs based on whatever weapon you're carrying, which is brilliant. With Dawn Trail, which is the newest expansion, we get Viper, which is kind of like Final Fantasy XIV's answer to Kirito from Sword Art Online.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's a dual wielding, basically blade dancer, that also has the ability to kind of like join it together as a staff. So think of like Kirito from Sword Art Online mixed with what was it, Darth Maul, right? The dual saber wielder from the first 3 movies.
Yeah.
Kind of a mix of that. And then the other class they're coming out with is a ranged DPS called Pictomancer, which I've seen a little bit of like the gameplay action in the previews. Looks pretty cool. Seems like it might be somewhat complicated, but maybe not really complicated. But
Mhm.
basically, they do like paintings, and the paintings throw up in like their skill bar or whatever like that, and then whatever that painting is or doodle is what the skill becomes. So like it could be a healing ability, it could be an attack ability, it could be like a booster for the whole team. And then of course a whole new like planescape of area to explore, new stuff, upgraded levels. Like there's gonna be a lot to it. So I'm excited for it. Obviously I've been playing the games for a long time. I'm all caught up with everything currently. So
This is why I don't want to get into another MMO. You said 900 hours. That's
yes,
4 months if you dedicate 8 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I understand, but my 2,000 hours playing is probably 2, maybe 3 hours a night, because while there are like hardcore raids that happen, those hardcore raids are not like WoW. It's not like you're spending 6 to 8 hours a night
On
trying to
one boss.
Old WoW.
on one raid for one boss. Yeah,
New
Yeah,
WoW
I
can
know.
be played on a fucking controller, and I'm not
I-
about it.
I get it. I get it. Just so you know, Final Fantasy can also be played on a controller, and the way they do their
Yeah,
avatars.
Yeah, but
They're doing that with everything.
But
now.
Blizzard set
It's
a
smart.
precedent that
It's-
you needed a keyboard and mouse to play this because you had 200 fucking action abilities, and you would spec your character out to do one job, and now it's like, oh, everybody does everything. Fuck
Right.
that.
Can I ask a dangerous question?
No.
Go ahead.
maybe.
Sucks. Can you spend money to skip stories and get the levels instead?
Yes,
Of course.
you absolutely can.
Everything is pay to play these days in some way, shape, or form.
And
How much would it cost instead of playing
Not pay to
like
play,
the
pay to win.
almost 900 hours? How much would it cost just to skip and get all the levels and everything? Barring gear, because I know you probably can't like buy
actually-
gear base.
So you actually get gear with the level skip that you can purchase. But the way that it works with Final Fantasy is that you can purchase as many level skips as you want for each class or each job in the game. They're $25 a piece, which isn't terrible, and it definitely gets you caught up to like the latest content. So
That sounds expensive.
I mean, it's not
Okay.
terrible,
No,
right?
it's $25 just to play one character. Plus
One
the
portion of a
$50
character.
Plus
Well,
the
one portion of the
$50 a
character.
month. Plus buying the expansion.
Right. So the deal there is though, like, let's say you want to join your friends and you kind of want to get into the content they're already in. That's why they came up with the level skip. You can do exactly like Wynn's doing over here and basically go through and just play the game. You can play for free, completely for free, up until the latest expansion. So it's really just a matter of like, how much time do you want to spend trying to catch up in the story to be at the same level as like your friend who's playing, right? But the cool thing is I can go in and play. I can go back on any character class and play at the same level that he's playing at, because whatever we're doing, it basically puts you down to that same level. So the skills and things that I have are only based on that level.
Oh, it's a cool
It
way to
kinda-
do difficulty.
It
It-
is.
It took the class system honestly from 10.2 and put it into the MMO. Just kind of change your outfit, change your weapon, change your whole class system without having to change characters. And that's what I loved about 10.2.
So, I mean, honestly, as far as MMOs go, it's smart. Like, it's not a requirement to have to play with other people, except for particular dungeons and things like that, or like alliance raids where you join a party of, the parties are like 4, 8, or 15, or not 15. It's like 3 parties of 8. But you are included in your own party of that party of like that set of 3 groups.
Mhm.
So you only have to watch out for the people that are currently within your own party, unless you need to like go save somebody else from their full party wipe, right? I don't know. It's a good system. It's not a pain in the ass like WoW was, where you go on a 30-man raid and it's everybody, all 30 people are in like one party, right?
In one Ventrilo server arguing
yeah.
about the best way to kill some fucking eggs.
Yeah, I need my TKP. How do I get these eggs?
Yeah.
No, But yeah, it's a good system, and honestly, I like the thing about it that I like the most. The thing that keeps me coming back is that I don't get bored of the boss fights. Like there are mechanics within each boss fight, but the mechanics, depending on which boss fight you're in, are a little different each time. And you'd never have to play the same one over and over again unless you're just grinding for gear. And in which case, you're doing that to yourself anyway. So I don't know. I have a lot of fun with it. I enjoy it, and I don't have to time sink into it to feel like I'm accomplishing anything, which is nice.
That's good.
It is a fun game, and it's the Final Fantasy world, so you got all the Final Fantasy characters and shit like that everywhere.
Yeah.
And for
Yeah,
those of us who grew up playing Final Fantasy, it's a nice something we're accustomed to and used to seeing. Pseudo know the story of about 6 of them because they're all different.
Yep.
They're just chocobos and Koopos and all of them.
Oh, and the other thing I forgot to mention is this is the first time I've ever seen an MMO get a graphic update. So this expansion coming out, they're doing a full graphic overhaul.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Yep.
So like updated engine, not just updated graphics.
I think the engine's staying the same. I think they're literally fixing a lot of like the old archaic polygons because finally they are no longer supporting older console systems that were able to play online.
Nice.
So, given that most, games we see come out now, like we were talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake earlier, the first remake game came out on PS4 and PS5, the newest is only PS5. Like, they have been holding on to the player accounts from PS3 for the last, 10 to 15 years, as long as this game has been out. And then they're finally like, okay, we need you to move on. We're going to do our graphic update now because we no longer need to support the old consoles.
I mean, we're getting far off where if you have a PlayStation 3 and you haven't even gotten, and you don't at least have a 4.
Hey man, I'm bidding on a Dreamcast just to play Phantasy Star Online because the servers are still up.
Dude, I don't blame you for that. Fantasy Online 2 is garbage, so the original
Yeah.
PSO is best.
Yeah. I'm like, I have done the research. I have figured out how to water cool a Dreamcast. I'm going full tilt in this thing.
Nice.
I mean, why not? How much is the bidding up to?
Like $40? It's not too bad.
That ain't bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
And it's a guaranteed functional Dreamcast. Otherwise I could return it and get my money back. So I'm not
Even
mad
better.
about it.
I mean,
Well, now that I sold the shit out of Final Fantasy XIV, I'm just going to go with one thing. And that's just news I've heard recently, which is they're doing a healer strike because apparently some people completed an extreme dungeon, which is a higher difficulty level version of a regular dungeon, with no healer. No healer involved at all. It was like one tank and all like ranged DPS that had some healing capabilities. So yeah, the healers are going on strike, basically being like, "Hey, Square Enix, you guys are fucking up with class balancing and job balancing. So yeah, we're not going to play any healers for the new expansion, and we'll see what happens."
I have a feeling Square Enix is going to be like, eat shit, deal with the game.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a little late now to kind of go back and do like quality control and player job balancing, but
I'm going to
I just thought
argue
it was-
that, and not a single one of the Final Fantasy games in the past where the characters truly balanced for their jobs. There was a couple where there were at least one or two others in your whole party that you got to choose from who did a better job than the person doing the job. Like,
yeah, but I mean, like,
officially,
you shouldn't be able to take a tank and nothing but DPSs through a dungeon that should technically require somewhat heavy healing, and they managed to do it. So like,
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and this wasn't like not playing at the level. Like they were playing at level for the dungeon, and still managed to pull it off without any healing. So, it's just when you get so many jobs in a game, it gets a little obscure of like damage mitigation, healing, all that fun stuff. But yeah, for the fact that they didn't need a healer at all to complete it, pretty wild.
Just dropping artillery the entire time, man. Walk it forward.
Hey, 3 pseudo healers make 1 real healer, right?
Basically.
No, 3 medics make trouble. They're well versed in what the anatomy can do, and they're gonna make it do it.
But so that was my plug and my gripe, my current gripe on the game. So I think I'm good in covering Final Fantasy 14 for now.
Yeah, I mean,
That's fair.
if I somehow come up with a bunch of free time, it's probably at the top of my list for MMOs. I just don't have any free time.
Well,
That's
I mean,
fair.
we tried Guild Wars 2, and
Yeah, that's my
nobody
thing
could
is
really stick with that.
if it's got to be one of those things where I'm going to have to be able to do like 8 to 10 hours a weekend to feel like I'm getting with anything, like I'm getting moving
But
forward.
that's what I'm saying. Like 14 doesn't have that. Like you play 2 hours a night, you complete 1 or 2 of the storyline, like the main story missions, and you watch all the cinematics for that 2 hours. You're actually covering a lot of ground. So,
All right.
like I said, and I know 2 hours a night's a lot, but like when you're just fucking around or doing whatever, like it doesn't matter. You can go just plug dungeons for a couple hours. Like you do whatever. It doesn't matter. That's what I like about it. It's literally the most casual MMO I've played, other than like Clicker Hero or something, right? Like,
Right.
I just
New
want them to
fucking
make Blue
banana
Mage.
game.
that one, right?
Yeah.
The what?
There's a game where you click on a banana, and in the conspiracy, that's the entire game. No explanation past that.
You get rewards for clicking the banana, though.
Is it
Yeah.
like Cookie Clicker?
I think it's
Like
less
the-
involved than that.
Oh, damn.
But it's at least in the conspiracy theory portion of Reddit, it is an NFT. Like what's the term? It's a NFT scam. They're basically like peddling NFTs through this and trying to sell them and get market value for them, so that
Okay.
their game can somehow be funded. But I'm pretty sure any programmer, anybody with a Google access could program this game.
So you just click on a banana?
So
It-
it's I think from what I read, it's like a target lock kind of game where like the banana moves across your screen and you just have to keep clicking it as it moves. So like a first-person shooter trainer, right? But
Mhm.
the idea behind it is that after you click it so many times, you get a drop, like you get an item drop out of it, and you can sell those item drops on the Steam Marketplace for real money.
Oh, that sounds like
Gotcha.
an NFT scam. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Right?
I think the only thing I'll say about Final Fantasy 14 besides
People
my
play
dangerous
fucking
question.
anything these days.
True.
Yep.
I want them to make Blue Mage like more viable in endgame, and I understand why they can't because it's this whole like you take over creatures and their abilities, but like that's the only thing I ever want to play. But I'm like, no one wants to play with me.
That might be a
What?
personal problem.
What kind of game?
No, Blue Mage in Final Fantasy.
Ah,
Yeah, you know,
I've
like none of
not leveled that class at all.
No, because you can't do it there's nothing
What
to
does
do
a
in
blue
endgame.
mage even do?
So
Like,
when
I
you
saw
kill
it as I
something,
saw it as an option. I just
Yeah. the
didn't.
best way my friend explained it to me, and Scorch could probably explain it a whole lot better than me, is you kill something and you kind of like Pokemon Digimon it, but you absorb it and you can use some of its skills. So if you kill a Basculus, and a Basculus has like a petrification beam,
Dope.
you then get the petrification beam. However, in late
You're like
game,
fucking
it is
Kirby.
yeah, but it is scaled so like low that you might as well just not play the character at like super end game.
So the thing about Blue Mage, and also I forgot to mention this because I don't really play the alternate classes too much. Blue Mage is always going to be 10 levels behind the current cap. The newest one coming out, I think, is like a Beast Tamer or something like that. But the way Blue Mage works is you basically have, like old Blue Mage and all the other Final Fantasy games, you have to get hit with the skill
Mhm.
in order to learn the skill. So
Gotcha.
you get a Blue Mage spell
I
book,
see what you're talking about.
and in order to learn the skills, you have to actually get hit with the skills. So like what was it? The original Final Fantasy VII had the materia where you could learn skills from monsters,
Mhm.
and you had to get hit by those skills while having that materia equipped. Blue Mage is essentially a class that comprises that theme.
So it's Kirby.
And
Okay, so
Yeah.
Kirby.
It's Blue
essentially.
Balls Kirby.
but you don't have to you don't necessarily have to kill the monster, you just have to get hit by the skill. You have to
I
survive long enough to do that, though.
Yeah.
I remember
Oh.
I remember characters actually having that ability throughout the games. Like I think Kamari had it in Final Fantasy X. But I don't remember it actually being its own fucking class. Just like that certain characters got the ability to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to survive a one-shot ability to have the one-shot ability.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, they changed it up a lot, but still,
So that's the fun
See-
part about it, though, is that like you
With
get
shields
these
for 'em, my
abilities
dude.
that the monsters only have, and you end up being kind of OP if you can really level the class. But you can only do so many kind of like missions and stuff like that because the class has a level cap that's 10 below the current level cap. So you can't take it into like the top tier dungeons and go do blue mage shit in those top tier dungeons. You can do like the level, and currently the level 80 dungeons that are, below the top tier.
they just need to allow me to
That's a
not be
fucked
10
up way to
levels
say,
behind.
all right, we fucked up, guys.
Well, that and the creators, I think, or the creator, and I could be wrong. He's because there's like blue, red, and black mages, right?
Yeah.
In Final
but
Fantasy, and the
White.
creator or main dev is like a
Rude.
black
There is a white
mage
mage.
main. Yeah, it is a black mage main, so they always get all the cool stuff because the one of the lead devs is that class. So it's like great, thanks.
I will argue that Yuna was a better black mage than Lulu was in Final Fantasy X.
I totally understand what you guys are saying. This is actually the only Final Fantasy I've ever played.
She had more magic power. She
Bro.
just lit people the fuck up and could heal
You've-
people.
You've never
Yeah.
seen the gloriousness that is Tifa's tits?
Well, I never said that. I just said I've never played
Okay.
the games. There's
Yeah.
a difference. I've definitely watched people play the games.
Poe, it sounds like you have an assignment.
Right?
No, I ain't got that much time. Guys,
Yes, you
I'm
do.
trying to find a job right now.
No.
I ain't got time to like invest
So
in video
the
games.
average play time for the old games was like 45 hours, not thousand. 60 plus if you're trying to do more completionist shit. 100 if you want to just like you have no life. So in the retrospect of most games, they're really not that bad. You could push one out in about 2 or 3 weeks,
Yeah, but I
playing
play games to
slightly
complete the game.
regularly.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe when I find a job and like I actually have like free time and not have to like worry about interviews and applying for jobs in school.
I get
Yeah,
I'll
I
play
mean that
them.
makes sense.
For sure.
You gotta make sure you got that income locked down before you venture into playing RPGs, JRPGs.
Yeah, it's okay. I've already made the dumb decision of playing two TCGs. So what's the worst like adding RPG games into it?
I mean, worst case you can do is start a Twitch streaming channel and get some monetary.
Start.
Enjoy your
Yeah.
40 cents a day.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, 40 cents is 40 cents. Currently, I make 0 cents a day, so I'll take the 40.
Take take that retro gaming Twitch channel up and just go back and play like Final Fantasy 1 through, like what is 16 is the latest, except that's on PS5. So
You could skip 15. 15 is just chilling with your bros in a car.
oh,
Actually-
15. 16 is the latest. That's right.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, I lied. I technically, what was it, 13 Part 2 I played, but it was the only one. And that was
I don't
because it
think
was like
I ever
$10.
played any of those ones.
You skipped
and it-
13 part 1?
13 Part 2 was like $10 and there was no 13 Part 1. So like technically I played 13 Part 2 and just didn't understand a single thing. I'm gonna get a lot of hate in the comments, but guess what? Hate in the comments is still what's the word I'm thinking of?
Hey man, that's the honest truth about Final Fantasy is what made it a great game is while you may not exactly know what's going on if you played a pseudo sequel, because I'm gonna fucking call them that, none of them are real goddamn sequels. You could still have fun and figure out the active story, not when they go in the past and show you something from the last game that you chose not to play.
Very
That's true. And never mind the fact that all the Final Fantasies basically have their own story and world. So like any one of them you play don't necessarily conjoin to the others.
Oh, it sounds like I don't actually have to play any of them to play.
The most common,
No, you still do.
The main thing that's like a part of almost every Final Fantasy is chocobos. I
Yep.
think that's the main consistent one.
Which sucks because
Chocobos.
riding an emu is not the same as riding a chocobo. They get real mad.
Is that from experience?
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, you met a emu farmer or something, or somebody who had an emu pet in the springs, right?
Yeah, she just had a
Like-
pet and it gets off its leash regularly. I've caught it twice. Just downtown
the
random emu.
Is that the emu you tried to ride?
No, I tried to ride an emu when I was in Australia, and it was a terrible idea. I let a bunch of Australian soldiers tell me that you could ride one, and they were trained
Nice.
for it, and that just turned into me getting pecked a bunch by a 6-foot-tall bird.
Large birds are not nice creatures, man.
No, they're fucking velociraptors.
They're fucking evil.
So let's hit our last thing, get the movie review over. What are you guys excited about Constantine 2? I'm excited
Just that
about
it's
it.
happening.
The first
I'm
one was
super into it.
terrible, but I love it for the same reasons I love Super Mario Brothers.
I thought
know-
the first one was alright.
I really enjoyed the first one.
I
But
actually haven't looked at anything for Constantine 2 yet. Like, I haven't watched the trailer or anything, so following this, I'm gonna go do that.
It's easy. It's Keanu Reeves.
I mean,
It's Keanu Reeves killing demons.
Yeah.
but it's Keanu Reeves post John Wick, right? So, like, when the first Constantine came out, he definitely did not have John Wick skills. I'm very
Mhm.
curious to see if Constantine 2 incorporates a lot of the John Wick skills.
Right?
Oh, they're
He
going-
just
they're
whips
going-
out a
they're
Glock
going
and
to.
starts fucking shit up.
I mean, he
Yeah.
doesn't need a Glock. The original movie, he had that, like, freaking dragon fire pistol or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, I bet she's still carrying that beast around. Like, let's see some action with that shit.
Oh, and it's most of the same cast too.
That's, I mean, honestly, that's pretty wild for considering, like, how long it's been since Constantine came out.
Right?
Yeah.
What is that? 10, 15
Most-
years since the last one came out?
Most of them died in that movie. I mean, I get he could rip them from hell, but
They're all demons.
that's true. And the
Demons
one
are
weird
angels.
angel.
Demons and angels. He's the only one that's fucking human. Well, magician.
Yeah.
I don't know. This one might
I think
bring
it's
me
gonna be
back
good.
to this one might bring me back to the theaters because I think the audio on it will be pretty good. DC's real good about audio, and while I have a weird hatred for DC live action movies, their animated shit's great. Their live action has left me wanting. It's
Oh,
fucking
their
Keanu
animated
Reeves.
stuff is way better than fucking
Yeah,
Marvel's.
yeah.
By leaps and bounds.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Like, DC
DC
DC has the script, right? They have the cartoon panels already laid out for them, and yet they can't seem to make, like, a banger movie. I don't know what's going on.
not with their live action, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. They've got they put the right actors in the right places. They still fuck the movies up.
Fuck that. They're not putting the right actors in the right places. They
I'm not
hired
saying
Ben
all of
fucking
them.
Affleck. All right. So here's my issue. I love Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's my man. He could play the shark from Jaws.
He's not Batfleck.
But Batfleck, like, there's 2% of the population that has a cleft chin. You're gonna know it's Bruce Wayne. You're gonna be like, oh, yeah, that's totally Bruce Wayne. It's just not believable.
what was it? The end of Flash? Didn't they replace him with Clooney?
Yes,
Yeah.
I
so,
did not watch that movie.
Okay.
it
So
was fucking terrible.
it was pretty
It
bad,
was
but
fucking garbage.
I like the Flash as a superhero. I like the silly scientist kind of thing, right? And, like, the Flash
thought
always kind of incorporated that for me.
Yeah, but I thought Ezra Miller's trash.
Absolutely, I'm not disagreeing, but I still watched the damn movie because it was the Flash, right? And
did
I
too.
really enjoyed the visual effects that they did for the Flash for that. Because the visual effects in the Flash movie was way better than what they did for Justice League, like for his character and like don't get me started; those were pretty bad too. But yeah, so the end of Flash, basically, they kind of pulled in like a Flashpoint scenario where he had Batfleck first, and then it was Clooney after as Batman. So I'm really curious if they're going to continue the timeline as Clooney as Batman going forward or not.
Maybe we'll get Batman Beyond.
I think that was the purpose of the Flash movie for DC, was to reset the timeline, because, well, they fucked everything up.
Yeah, they do have a issue with hiring certain actors and actresses that aren't great.
On top of Marvel literally just doing that with all their multiverse stuff, they're doing this. I think they're doing the same thing in the DC universe to try to get a restart on it. Is just resetting the whole universe. Be like, all right, guys, we kind of fucked everything up.
What was the last Marvel movie? Yeah, it fell so hard.
Shit,
It could have been
Morbius?
Wasp Quantumania.
Morbius doesn't count. That's Sony.
Madam Web.
Madam Web.
I think is that not Sony too?
I think Madam Web was maybe a Marvel.
I tried to watch Madam Web. That was a fever dream. The weirdest. All right, so I'm weird about audio. I really like audio. I wouldn't call myself an audiophile because I don't have the funding, but Madam Web's voiceovers. So from what I can gather, I think they did an entire movie, and then in post they just redid all the audio, so none of the words line up with the lips.
Really?
It is the weirdest thing to watch, and it might have been. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I know this is odd, but they actually do that a lot. But typically, the actors are good enough to cover for it, right? Like,
yeah.
But like, also they're supposed to sync the audio properly.
Yeah. No, like I wasn't even fucked up. I watched this one on fucking Raw Earth, and I was like, wait, how? I don't remember taking anything. Maybe I did. Yeah, I think
I tried to watch it.
It was bad. It was real bad.
I didn't bother.
Isn't that the chick from those terrible BDSM movies?
What's it called? Gray?
Yeah, whatever that one.
I never watched those because it goes against
right.
everything I learned in the BDSM community.
Yeah, that's why I never watched them.
So just to give you the timeline here of the last couple of Marvel movies that came out, apparently it's Thor: Love and Thunder, which I watched. Didn't really add anything to like the universe.
Screaming Goats. Okay.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which I also did not watch, but probably deserves a watch at some point.
Yeah, I heard that one was good.
It was pretty good.
Yep.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. It introduced Shuri as as the new Black Panther, and of course introduced comic-wise what would be the new Iron Man.
Yeah, I mean, when your main actor dies, you gotta kind of shift.
A little, yeah.
Well,
not that Robert Downey Jr. actually died. He just in character died.
No, we're talking about.
Yeah, I was talking about Black Panther.
Yes.
Bro.
They're talking about bringing Robert Downey Jr. back.
Yeah,
hoping he'll reinvigorate the Marvel universe.
Yep.
I mean, I think he could probably do it.
I think Disney made it too far gone. No one cares anymore. It's like Star Wars. I watched a trailer for the
Acolyte.
Yeah, and zero interest, no excitement. I was just like, this is just dumb. They made the Force a college class. You could just learn the Force now. Like, no, fuck that, man. You got to be special. If I'm gonna be a wizard with a flaming sword that can cut through anything, I expect to be fucking special.
You had to have high midichlorians in order to be a Force user. Like,
yeah, not anymore.
You just get injected with midichlorians now? Like, is that the thing?
No, they Harry Pottered it. It's book studies now.
Shitty.
All right, so what came after Wakanda Forever?
After Wakanda Forever was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which
introduced the multiverse.
Yes, but that movie was actually hilarious. And if you guys have not seen that one, watch it just for fun. Like, it's fun. It's a fun watch.
I can back that. I've seen that one.
I've enjoyed both the Ant-Mans for that exact reason, because while they're not the best movies, they are both super fun to watch. I also love watching Paul Rudd. I think he's hilarious. in every
And,
role he does.
And one of my favorite characters from Good Place was in that. So, that was just kind of like a nice cameo to like see him play as, a nothing character in that and knowing, him from Good Place. It was fun.
Good Place also really good.
Yeah, Good
Whole
Place,
show's a joke about-
underappreciated
Dude.
show.
Dude, that show is locked in so tight on its episodes that there is nothing missing, no filler. Like, it is literally one of the best pieces of TV I've seen, and I keep fucking rewatching it because I can't not. I don't know what's going on with that, but sorry. I
It's so
digress.
good. And they rank on Florida so hard that entire series.
I know.
Like, you can't even argue with it.
I'm Jason Mendoza from Jacksonville, Florida. Like,
We all know that
shit
guy.
kills me. This shit kills me. I mean, a few less Molotovs, but yeah, we know that guy.
Only a few though.
Only a couple.
So how do you guys feel about the new season of Boys?
Oh, I haven't
Four? Has
seen
it
anything
started?
past like season 3. Like I think I've only watched like one episode of season 3. So.
First 3 episodes of season 4 are out.
Oh,
I
shit,
couldn't
haven't
get into
watched it at all
Boys.
yet. Really?
I wanted
Really?
to. I wanted to so hard. I just like, I don't know. I have a weird thing about rape in TV, and just the sexual assault like turns me off of a show. And it's not. I'm sure it's some like weird thing that's embedded into my tiny little brain, but it's just one of those that when I see it, I'm just like, I'm not interested anymore. I immediately lose interest.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're watching The Boys for not sexual assault or sexual activity, you're watching the wrong show for sure. Because
Yeah.
there's so much of it in that.
Yeah.
So much.
They kind of lay off the sexual assault later on, but that is one of the story arcs for a bit.
I mean, there's like an entire orgy that happens at like in season 3. So
Yeah, but that's all consensual.
I mean, fair. That's
Well, except for the dude's dick exploding.
fair. Yeah.
That's like
oh,
season
so,
2.
so you got that fucking far? What the hell?
No, I've seen that clip because somebody explained it to me and I was like, I have to see this. I can't pass that up.
Jesus.
There's a-
Okay.
on the
Spoiler for that one.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of season 2.
On the boys
Yeah.
subreddit, there's like a running tally of how many dick and balls you see compared to how many like boobs you see, and dick and balls is like outweighing it very heavily.
That
Oh,
is
yeah,
a
for sure.
very
That's the-
sweaty subreddit.
Yeah, it's just I'm scrolling through like popular on Reddit, and I'm like, I didn't expect to see this, but okay, cool, good to know. Fair.
All right, guys. For reasons beyond my control, I have to hop off.
All right,
Do we want to
it's time
call
to-
it for this week?
sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, we can call it for this week. We've had almost 2 hours in. Well, hour and a half in.
Yeah.
Close us out, Poe.
let me finish.
Alright.
Hang on. Let me finish the run real quick. So after
Marvel.
Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels, which I haven't watched at
Uh-huh.
all, and then we have Deadpool and Wolverine coming up, which
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna be
excited
good.
about that. And if I'm on for next week, I want to pick up on that one.
Oh yeah,
Alright.
yeah. I'm about that.
Definitely.
We can make that a. We've talked about it before, but we can make that a topic for next week. So much more has come out. I just want the popcorn bucket. Like those are going on my shelf.
2024, the year of the popcorn buckets. Yeah, I know.
I mean, after that Dune travesty, you knew something. They were going to do something.
Yeah, for sure.
But all right, thank you all for listening. Our episodes typically, sorry about last week, but typically come out Fridays 6 a.m. EST. So that way, on your way to work, you could just pop us on and listen, or like while you're at work. You can contact us if you have any like topic ideas, if you want to like submit any like cool art for us, or you want to somehow pop on the podcast if you're cool people and chill. You could email us at thedepthsofjigoku@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, X, or if you want to call it Twitter, at the Depths of Jigoku. Everybody be safe, be happy. If you need to talk about your feelings, make sure to talk about your feelings. Everybody's safe here. And y'all have a good night or good morning.
Later, guys.
Sorry, guys.